Today on 9 to 5 Tactical, we will be giving our 1000 round review on the Canik Mete MC9 Prime. As for a high-level rundown of the specs of the Canik Mete MC9 Prime, it is a striker-fired polymer frame pistol chambered in 9mm. Overall length is 6.73 inches long. The barrel length is 3.64 inches. The height is 5.43 inches, and the width is 1.16 inches. The weight is 23.38 ounces, and as for the MSRP, it is going to run you about $650. As for the slide and barrel material, I believe it's just stainless steel underneath the black Cerakote. It doesn't really specify what kind of grade of steel they're using, but I'm just going to assume, like most firearms, it is just a standard steel Cerakoted in black. Has a small Picatinny rail. As you can see, it only has 3 slots. This is only going to be able to fit your compact TLR7 subs to any other, I guess, compact lights out there. It doesn't have to be TLR. On to our usual unboxing, show you what you get. You get this nice packaging from Canik. Canik usually does provide some pretty high quality boxes for your firearm. It does feature two lock holes so you can travel with this in a safe manner. It's pretty nice. I guess labeling to show you got the Mete MC9 Prime in gold, black and gold. You get extra back straps here on the top left and right, and of course this little mini MC9. Of course, safety manual instruction. Next is the firearm. It does actually include a holster, which is pretty nice. I guess if you don't already have a holster for this, you could use this as a temporary solution, or you can get something like what we have is a QVO Tactical Wingman Flex, which is a lot better holster than what comes with the Canik. We have discount code down below if you are interested in this holster, so you can save yourself some money. Back to the unboxing. You also get a speed loader, an additional extended magazine. Actually, here is another layer. So you get additional cleaning tools and maintenance tools down here at the bottom. It also comes with a paddle for the holster that's included, so you can run this outside the waistband if you so do choose to. For our first category, as per usual, is out of the box value. For Canik, we usually rate them pretty high. However, it is a 9 out of 10 for all of us because it only comes with 2 mags. We are going to keep deducting a point for this in the future because we want companies to push forward to have 3 mags as a standard. There's no reason not to. I mean, if it comes to a cost efficiency with the amount of tools and holster they sent us, I'd rather them, not give us a holster and less amount of tools and give us an extra magazine, because we're going to use it more. And honestly, everything in this box except the magazine and firearm, we're probably not ever going to use. Other than that, the Canik really does kind of give you everything that you need. Like, you get a really good box that's reusable. Like, it's big enough to be repurposed for any additional storage items or like transporting ammo or whatnot. I think the cleaning tools are nice. However, I have my own set of tools and they're honestly better than what comes in the box.
Next category is going to be ergonomics, and this one we all gave it a 10 out of 10. For the Canik Mete Prime, it's pretty obvious why. This firearm is very much ergonomic. They added a lot of good stuff. It's almost like Canik's actually listening to their shooters. For one thing, I'll start with here at the top with the serrations. Serrations, they took the entire side up here and gave as many serrations as possible, not only in the front, also in the rear as well. The serrations themselves are quite deep. They're not amazing by any means. I think they definitely get the job done, but they make sure they stay on that comfortable side while still making sure they're usable as well. Something that did stay the same though was some of the controls, starting with the slide release here. Canik is pretty much well known for having fully ambidextrous controls. Starting with the slide release right here is exactly the same on both sides. Not different whatsoever, and it is pretty far back on the grip that the majority of people, they can actually reach it with their thumbs. Unfortunately for myself, I still can reach it 100% without breaking my grip just a little bit, but it's very minimal compared to other firearms we've had in the past. Moving to the back here, there is a slight beaver tail right here, but it's very minimal, also cut off, so it's very comfortable when carrying. You don't have a strong beaver tail like on the striker fire, which is kind of what you want. There's a lot of firearms that come out nowadays that have like a very predominant beaver tail on a striker fire. That doesn't really make any sense. Actually kind of stupid, not gonna lie. Magazine release as well is very protruded. It's almost like an extended mag release, how far it pokes out, and I found it to be very easy to reach no problem whatsoever. There's also a little bit of texture right up here where your thumbs would sit for kind of like a little gas pedal setup. It doesn't shoot out at all. It's more just there for a finger reference on either side. It's on the front, the left and the right. Trigger guard has a slight double undercut, pretty similar to that of the TTI Combat. Gives you a really nice hold for your primary hand, and just a little bump right there for your support hand to follow through. Last thing I'm gonna talk about is gonna be the flared magwell. Pretty surprising that a gun this size has a flared magwell. It's also metal too, pretty darn nice. We always talk about on the channel, we love flared magwells because it gives you that extra finger hold. Right down here at the bottom, giving you extra leverage when shooting. So nice addition from Canik, adding that on there. Guys, no extra cost too, isn't that crazy? So right out of the box, this firearm is very ergonomic for majority of shooters out there. Main reason why we gave it a 10 out of 10.
Next category is gonna be trigger, and for this, the three of us actually gave this a 10 out of 10. Canik comes out with pretty great triggers right out of the box. Let me show you real quick. It's gonna be a 4.5 to 5 pound trigger pull. It is a bladed safety trigger as well, and let me show you real quick. So I'll take out the travel, and I'm gonna hit that wall. Very clean break. For the reset, it's very tactile and audible as well for your next follow-up shots to break off again. And something to note is that finger placement is important on this, just because that it's a bladed safety trigger, and if you put your finger up a little too high, you're not able to defeat the safety. So make sure you have good placement when pulling the trigger back.
Next category we have is sights and optics, and for this we all gave it a 10 out of 10. The reason why it's scored so high is because, if you can see here, is a direct mount. Any optic system that allows a pretty good direct mount is usually going to get a pretty high score on the channel, generally a 10 out of 10. The irons are also not bad either. They are actually like black dot rears with tritium night sights. That's what the description says, even though it's technically not fully blacked out, but the tritiums aren't that distracting when you're trying to focus on the front iron sight, because it is a bright orange with the tritium center. They actually do glow pretty good, even though like we had other night sights in the past that they do say night sight, but they don't really glow that bright. These actually glow pretty bright. If I just cover my hand over them, I'm actually able to see them glow immediately. Well, we did give this category a 10 out of 10 because we didn't have any issues of losing zero, and it held up quite nicely, and we do enjoy the irons. We did notice that the point of impact is severely off when using the irons. So if we actually, we'll pull up a picture here, the red dot is actually left of the irons. When we zeroed it, the rounds were impacting exactly where the red dot was. However, when we tried to zero based on irons only, it was completely off target at 15 yards. So if you were shooting this firearm, I probably wouldn't trust the irons. We actually have additional pictures here showing different angles that the irons are perfectly centered. So something, maybe QA missed it completely or something happened. But when we shoot with irons, it totally misses the target at 15 yards. But when we zero the red dot, it's hitting exactly where we want it to.
Next category is going to be magazines, and we gave it 10 out of 10 all around. So Mete Prime does come with two 17 round magazines. So pretty nice, pretty typical of that X Macro, kind of making the new standard of a compact size gun like this. Make sure the minimum is at least 17 rounds nowadays. So for these magazines, it is all metal construction up here at the front, but the bottom is a plastic base pad. Normally we would dock a point for it not being metal as well, but we have kind of thought about this a little more, and the base pads, even though they're plastic, they are very good construction plastic. We've dropped this on multiple different surfaces, grass, gravel, cement, and have no issues with these whatsoever. So they're 100% reliable for us. Another thing we also like about these magazines is the fact they also have round indicators starting from 2 all the way down to 17. So when you're loading these magazines, you know exactly how many rounds are in this, compared to like maybe like a 2011 magazine, where they only give you round indicators like 5, 10, and 15, and 20. Pretty nice feature. We wish all magazines come with that. Another note too is that these are MC9 magazines, so the TTI Combat that we reviewed in the past, magazines do fit into the Mete Prime because it uses the exact same magazines. Last thing I want to note here is that these magazines are on the cheaper end as well. They come in around 35 bucks, kind of depending where you get it from. Compared to that to like 2011 magazines, about 80 or 90, this is definitely a good deal.
Next category is going to be felt recoil. Dominic and I both gave this an 8 out of 10, while Brandon gave this a 7 out of 10. And the reason why I gave this an 8 out of 10 is just because that the Mete Prime is going to be a compact gun, so they are going to be fairly snappier than full-size guns. And something to note is that we did notice that the recoil spring was a little heavier than most guns that we've had on the channel. With that being said, that could be the reason why it does have a little more snap than others. But if I was to compare this to another gun, it would be the X Macro, just because they're similar in size, and that I do believe with the porting system here, it does take off the bite on a compact gun. And with that being said, that is the reason why I give this an 8 out of 10.
The next category we have is weapon handling. Zach and I give this a 10 out of 10, while Brandon gave it a 9 out of 10. When we were running this gun, we'll start at the top. The serrations, they are actually pretty usable. They're actually more usable than the TTI Combats, surprisingly. And like Zach already mentioned in the recoil part, that the recoil spring is on the stronger side. So this being actually usable, the serrations, being able to grip onto my finger meat despite having a strong recoil spring, shows that these serrations actually do work pretty well. If we move on to the side controls under manipulation, under reloads, personally, I didn't have any issues with the slide release at all. They're also ambidextrous, so if you are a lefty, you can reload and use the slide release just like a righty would, even though you're wrong-handed. The mag release is also reversible, so it's not discriminatory there either. The grip texture, we didn't find any grip, or we didn't find our grip breaking at all. Grip texture is pretty aggressive. I mentioned earlier that the grip texture is actually like 2 different levels from the side and the back and front. And the nice thing is about this firearm is that the grip texture actually runs all the way up to the side controls, so it's nice if you are a person that has a high grip, you can actually utilize the grip texture up here, and then if you are a thumbs forward, that is up there as well. Reloads, when we did reloads with this, pretty nice and easy to get the magazine in there because they have a flared magwell. It's not like a crazy competition flared magwell, but it's way better than not having one at all. This is kind of like an EDC level rated flared magwell, and it made just getting the magazine in a lot easier. And sometimes, depending on your hand size, it can actually really help your pinky stay in place, assisting in your grip as well. So that's kind of why we gave it relatively high scores. Brandon with a 9 out of 10, and Zach and I with a 10 out of 10.
This category is going to be comfort and concealability. This category, we all gave it a 10 out of 10 all around. Main reason being is because we said in the beginning of the video, the Mete Prime is going to be a direct competitor to the X Macro that we have here on the channel. We have done a review on this also in the past. Be sure to check that out. This is basically the TACOS version. Zach does have some Lucky 7 Sports on here, but the length is going to be exactly the same as the X Macro comp. You'll see here that if you add on the beaver tail of the X Macro, they do come out to be just about the exact same length. So when concealing it, they feel practically identical. Even the grip on the Mete Prime is on the skinnier end. So that makes it significantly easier, not only for concealment, but makes it a lot more comfortable as well. This part, I'm going to straight up just directly compare the grip texture to the X Macro, because that is what we talked about being the main competitor. The Mete Prime does have a slightly more aggressive grip texture compared to the stock X Macro's grip, but we will all probably say that when actually carrying this inside the waistband, we didn't really feel much difference between either of these. The weight of the Mete Prime being only 23 ounces makes it very easy to carry as well. The grip length, usually that's going to be the biggest thing people have issues with when it comes to concealment. This one also only goes down to the pinky, practically matching the X Macro, like how I keep saying. Now, if you actually had issues with the flared magwell here, it is removable, so if you wanted to have just a little bit more concealability, you can absolutely take that off.
Next category is going to be aftermarket support, and the 3 of us gave this an 8 out of 10. With this being said, so that you still are able to get Cerakoting, porting jobs, sloping packages. I know aftermarket, there are some aftermarket support on the mag releases and triggers as well. And if you wanted more parts for this, it does follow the MC9 lineup, so you can use existing parts for that as well. And the reason why we gave this an 8 out of 10 and not a 10 out of 10 is just because that the Canik Mete Prime doesn't have as many parts as like a SIG does. A SIG, you can fully customize it from the slide, the barrel, the grip, and you can actually take out the FCU, as the Mete Prime you cannot.
The last category we have is the price, and for this we all gave it a 10 out of 10. So talking about the value, MSRP about $650, you are honestly getting a lot of performance per dollar. It's a compact gun, so it's going to be super easy to conceal. As you know, the compact guns, they usually don't even decrease the price of less material. They actually keep it the same or even increase it because it's just more convenient. Nice thing is, since it's a compact, you get a ported barrel, so you get a lot of performance for the size. Flared magwell too. You don't really see this from manufacturers at this price point. Usually you're not getting one because it's not made for that reason. You're not really going to do reloads with a compact, but they decided to throw it in there because it benefits the shooter. That even adds more value to what you're spending. Kind of like we talked about in the out of the box value. The box you're getting is of superior quality compared to other companies that charge a higher price. The only gripe is that we don't get a third mag for the price. So technically, when you think about it, when you get this firearm, you're already ready to go out of the box. They give you a temporary holster to use before you get yourself a better holster, and then you can go ahead and can still carry that as soon as you get it. Most of the time you are going to have to wait till you get a holster, or make sure you get one before you purchase a firearm. But at least Canik does provide an intermittent holster just for you to use until you get your proper holster. The holster sucks, but hey, at least you get a holster, so that's really good. And then if you think about this next competitor to an X Macro, an X Macro comp is about 800, while this is at 650. Granted, I guess SIG has a name brand behind it, so you are going to pay a little extra, and it does have FCU components, so it has a little bit more customizability. But if you're looking for someone for the best bang for buck, honestly, you cannot go wrong with the Canik Mete MC9 Prime as a first choice option. So kind of getting into our final thoughts of the MC9 Prime, this has honestly been our favorite Turkish delight. 100% reliable. We've had no issues with it. It could also be that, from what I understand, this Canik MC9 Prime is actually assembled and manufactured in the US, so maybe it's getting a little bit more QA. I just hope we're not on Canik's Night list. I know we uploaded all the issues with the TTI Combat, but you know, as we want to be on the channel, one of our core principles is that we want to be honest and super transparent. So if we get any issues with the firearm, we of course are going to show you exactly what happened. But I digress. This MC9 has been great. It is a perfect bang for buck firearm if you're looking to get your first CCW, want something comfortable and shoots relatively soft. So I cannot say any more positive things about this firearm. So with all that being said, with me giving it a 95, Zach also giving it a 95, and Brandon giving it a 93, that brings our total average score to a 94.3. So I think this might actually be our highest rated gun yet. I think what comes in second place now is the Bodyguard 2.0. So this is kind of cool. We never had something that toppled everything up until now. So the MC9, highest rated gun yet. Could be best gun of the year. I don't know. As we come to the end of this video, we hope you found everything informational and helpful to hopefully, you know, sway your choice of maybe getting this firearm or not. Of course, we want reviews to be helpful, and if you already those who own the MC9 Prime, let us know in the comments if you have any differing opinions, or maybe there's something that we missed and you want to know and find out. People who already own it could be more helpful in the comments than we are. Of course, you know, we only have just above 1,000 rounds with it, and there are definitely other owners in the comments who watch these videos that may be more helpful than we are, but we'll try to help the best we can. And of course, we're going to beg for your mercy again to give us a like, share, and subscribe. Of course, hit that hype button. That's a new feature. It really helps us with YouTube algorithm, as YouTube is pretty anti-Second Amendment. And with that, we will see you guys next week.